Hi. So one of my students asked me, why is this even mentioned as a tip? Because according to her, this should go without say. Hi, I'm Nurse Amy. Welcome to Nurse Amy TV channel. And I'm talking about one of the tips in this book. It is be polite. So when my student asked me that, I was actually happy she did because she thought, well, it's no brainer. Everyone should know better than, who would go to a place and not be polite? Well, you'd be surprised because there are people who come into my classroom space and they will argue with me on things that I know. Now, they've not been to nursing school. Some have not even, they don't work in healthcare, and they argue based on something they thought the way it should be. Like in the state where I teach, when you're making the bed, it's one of the skills you're tested on, making an occupied bed, you don't have gloves on. And they're like, oh my God, why would you not have gloves on? That is just so ew. Maybe so. Again, like I keep saying here on my channel, there's a way to get the job done in the outside world. There's a way to get it done in the classroom, and especially when you're being tested. So, according to the state that I am teaching, there is a candidate handbook, and that's what we're going by. We're not adding any soundtrack. We're not adding any background music or background theme. We're not adding all of that, okay? Yes, I'm a filmmaker. I love it. I love to write. I have such a vivid imagination. Those are for my books and for my movies. When it comes to the CNA program or tutoring, private tutoring nursing students on how to pass, or even the NCLEX, we're going to go by what the book says, what the state or the national body of nursing requires. So that is not the time for me to put a soundtrack. So stop. So polite, I'm going to tie to, it's like respect. People argue. Some people just love to argue. They just thrive on arguing. I don't like people who argue because I think they suck the life out of the room. They're negative. And a lot of times when people argue, they're ignorant, and they're trying to cover up their ignorance. That is how I perceive it. That's how I see it. That's my understanding of people who argue. Because why are you arguing? Why do you feel the need to always be right, even if you don't know, but you just like the sound of your voice? You just want to sound like you know something. I would tell you this, though. When you argue, in your argument, it does show if you know what you're saying or that you don't know what you're saying. So a lot of times, if you're ignorant and you're arguing, it shows your ignorance. When you're arguing, it shows your disrespect and you're rude. Okay, and like my student said in this book, that should be a no-brainer, right? Why would you want to argue? Why would you not be polite? Because some people are just rude. Well, I can tell you, if you're rude, you're not going very far. First of all, going to test in the testing site and you're rude to the people who are going to be proctoring you, it's like suicide mission, right? You want to come back. It doesn't matter if you change sites. You will come back if you're rude to your RN test observers. You will come back and spend money. Remember, every time you come back, you're spending money. You will come back if you're rude to the actor who is helping you with your skills. When I say helping you, you need to practice to show your skills on to be tested or graded right. So if you're rude to your actor who is representing patients in the real world, well, you will come back. You will be returning and repeating those skills. And I tell my students this: what would it profit you to argue with me in the classroom? What would it profit you for you to be to not be polite to me as your instructor? Seriously, how far are you going to go? Does that make sense? Because we're all human. Do you see what I'm saying? Again, you find that when I teach my videos, I tend to personalize everything just so you understand. I try to be very fair. I'm always very fair. I try. I'm not perfect, but my students will tell you I am very, very fair. I will scold a student that everyone might think, well, this person is teacher's pet in one instant. And at the same time, I'm praising them. I am fair. That's how I raise my kids. I am fair. Now, I refer to how I raise my kids. It doesn't mean that I treat my students as kids. No, you're adults. You are held accountable for the things that you do in the classroom. First of all, I tell my students this: you're not in high school anymore. As long as when you come into a program like the CNA program, or you're going into nursing school, is post a high institution. Does that make sense? You're no longer a child. You made a determination, or maybe somebody did for you, but you are an adult, okay? I've had 17-year-olds in my class, but some of the things we talk about in the classroom relating to health and training, it might not be, appropriate for a 17-year-old, right? But then again, they've signed up for that class. They are going to do pericare, all right? They're going to talk about sexual behavior. So again, those are things that even in high school you do talk about them, you know. So it's a higher institution. Some people don't realize that, but that's what it is. So you have to be polite. Do not argue for arguing's sake. I've had people say, oh, I'm going to wear gloves through all my skills. Okay, I'm not going to argue with you, because again, at this time, it's diminishing returns. You are now trying to derail my class, those that are ready to learn, and everyone knows who's being true. Nurse Amy's class, I don't suffer fools. I will tell you, I will check you in a minute. And if you continue with the nonsense and the foolishness, then you're going to have to leave the classroom, because clearly you're disturbing the others. Clearly you're disturbing me from impacting knowledge, and there are those that are ready to learn. I find people who are already working in the healthcare field have a tough way trying to circumvent or navigate book world and work world. And I have worked personally with students like that, and then they've gone on to smash their State CNA exam, both skills and written. So this book is one of the tips here. It's the things that I personally coach those that are struggling with. So again, I'm going to leave the link below. It would really, really help you. Or if you know someone that is going to help, go ahead and get it to them. Again, I'm Nurse Amy. I hope you got tips that helps you with any kind of trepidation towards preparing for your CNA, your State CNA exam. Please, if you're not clear about certain things, feel free to write to me. You can leave your comments, it's fine. Again, I'm all about respect. If you don't understand something in a respectful way, you can always ask things. You don't have to be rude about it. Rudeness really doesn't, when people are rude, I don't care. I don't, you've lost me. You know, if you're trying to get to me and you're rude, you've lost me. I'm out of the room. I'm not in the same space as you. So if you're not being polite, you're probably not going to get a response from me. However, if you're ready to learn and ready to move forward, and let's all learn together. I'm not perfect. If there's anything you want to add to this, please feel free to do so. And of course, you know, you can reach me directly on my social media. So for those return subscribers, from the bottom of my heart, I love you. I'm going to be giving a giveaway of this book. I'm trying to find a way to do it. I really don't know. I've not done giveaways before. I don't want this video to be too long. It's like almost 10 minutes. But anyway, make sure that make sure to pray is good. Some people praying, okay? Pray always works. Should have added that here. But then again, not everyone is into, it's not a religious book, okay? But remember, you are the only one who can limit yourself. Don't do so. And I'm cheering you on, okay? You got this. So I'll see you in my next video. Be safe.